What's going on there, guys? Good afternoon. It's the Earthmaster here on the live stream with an update video on this finally Friday. It is Friday. Woohoo! August 12th, 2022 is the date, about 1:12 p.m. California time. Latest quake shows a 1.5 earthquake and a 2.1. Looks like the 1.5 up here in the Alaska region. Notice activity still kind of kicking up here along the off the coast of Oregon, along the Cascadia subduction zone. Let's go ahead and check out the activity that we're kind of looking at over the last 24 hours here on the earthquake map here. Last 24 hours of activity shows that 3.1 towards the end of the Blanco fracture zone. Not a big earthquake, but we're getting some deeper movement quakes here around this area of the Cascadia. Looks like earlier this morning we did see some further deep movement here at the southern end of the Cascadia at 20 kilometers. This one that just came in, 15 kilometers deep, and some shallower earthquake activity off onto the Pacific side. But notice up here in the north as well, pretty deep earthquake up in Washington State, a 2.6 at 43 kilometers. Now they've been having a pretty good amount of tremor activity up here in this region and also down south here, so we're starting to see a whole lot of strain out here along this sleeping monster called the Cascadia subduction zone. This is no doubt much more dangerous than the San Andreas fault. San Andreas fault down here, of course we've had some earthquakes in the past, but the southern segment capable of producing an 8.1. Yeah, it's pretty populated down there, right? But I think most of the damage will be confined regionally here to the SoCal area. But once this baby pops, the Cascadia subduction zone, we're talking about at least a 9.0, 9.1. There's been some estimates that it's been a 9.2 in the past, but that type of magnitude along this major fault system here, this major subduction zone, do a lot of damage. Not only from the shaking, but we're talking about the super high tsunami that would come in and do quite a bit of damage that the earthquake activity didn't take care of, unfortunately. And that will ultimately spread a major tsunami Pacific-wide across Hawaii, Japan, and other Pacific regions out there. So it's an area to watch closely, folks. We haven't seen a major rupture or even a partial rupture on it. Last full major rupture was back in 1700. We know that because of historical records from the Japan region that talked about a tsunami. Also, sand, tsunami sand, right? What's tsunami sand doing a mile inland, right? And it's pretty cool to look for in terms of finding that old tsunami that was once out here, and then it got pushed inland from a major tsunami. So it's we know that by looking at these intervals of tsunami deposits well inland historically. So regular interval occurrences occur around 200 to 500 years, I think they said. But you average them all out and they come up to about 3 something. And that's kind of where we're at right now, 322 years since the last major rupture. And it always gets me a little on the nervous side when I see a bunch of activity out here like this. Not a big deal right now, but it's been pretty consistent. Let me show you guys the last 7 days of activity around this area. Notice quite a bit of earthquake activity around the Gaurd ridges. A lot of strain in this region. Also down here in the just south of Eureka, Northern California area. This is the southern end of the Cascadia. A lot of deeper movement earthquake activity kicking up here in this region. And it's just something to watch pretty closely. So not only with all this earthquake activity kind of happening, we got to watch the tremor map, right? And that's kind of giving us a telltale sign of the regional pressure here as a whole. Getting a lot of tremor over the last, let's go back the last, let's just go back since about August 1st to today and see what we got for a total tally. Looking at about almost 2,000 epicenters of tremor along this area of the Cascadia subduction zone. Now I know we've seen quite a bit earlier this year as well, but for not even 2 weeks, that's a pretty good number. It's getting up there. in terms of the tremor count. Literally, it's just, and if you look at it up here on this map, most of it started, it looks like right around midday on the 2nd up here on the Tuesday. The first day looks like maybe had 15 or so. No. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe 15. But either way, that's a pretty good number for tremor activity right now. And always got to remember this tremor, this activity that's happening down dip there at about 35, 45 kilometers underneath the North American plate, underneath the Pacific Northwest, underneath Northern California and Southern Oregon, is a vibrational type of frequency, not a sudden jolt of earthquake release as far as pressure goes, but kind of a shoving down underneath here of the Juan de Fuca plate, underneath the North American plate. And that's been happening for, like I said, 300 something years. Now, we don't know exactly what tremor looked like prior to the last 1700 megaquake here in this area, so that's why I cover this a lot. Tremor, I think, plays a major important role in possibly, who knows, predicting the next megaquake. So we'll have to see what happens once that does happen. But tremor activity definitely been ramping up as we've seen in this area. That is contributing to a lot of strain with the earthquake activity happening up here in Seattle. Some deeper movement earthquakes. 43 kilometers is no joke. And a lot of back building here of strain and pressure along the Blanco fracture zone and the Gaurd areas, not to mention down south here in the Northern California area. So regionally as a whole, folks, this area is definitely looking pretty active in terms of good old plate tectonics and a major subduction zone. All right, let's look at the rest of the area. Still seeing some movement around the Antelope Valley area. Someone asked me, where's the Antelope Valley area? Well, it extends kind of into Northern California, or I don't really call this Northern California. I don't. Whatever you want to call it. Basically central. Eastern. East Central? I don't know. Eastern side of the Sierra Nevada. Okay. Part of California into sections of Nevada as well. This is kind of where the 6-pointer struck here last year, around June, I believe. 2021. Aftershock sequences there could continue for months, if not years, similar to what we see down in the Ridgecrest area, right? Although today has been pretty spotty, only a couple of small earthquakes. Very small microquake activity. Further to the plate boundary here, this red line indicating the San Andreas Fault. Seeing some microquakes up and down the board there today as well. Southern Cal, much further south. Little activity along the San Jacinto Fault Zone and off of the Brawley Seismic Zone here. It's a little extensional fault system of the southern segment of the San Andreas Fault. That's another sleeping monster. Someone kind of asked in one of the comments here recently, could one or the other, depending on if the Cascadia goes, could that trigger potentially the San Andreas Fault? I don't know if it would trigger the southern segment. It's possible. I don't know, a 9-pointer. I've seen earthquakes get triggered from very large earthquakes. And then vice versa. Could an 8.1 on the southern segment of the San Andreas trigger something up here? I don't know. You know, we don't really know specifically, but I find it kind of interesting, the link between the two time frames, between the last Cascadia earthquake, which was back in 1700, and the last not full rupture, but the last rupture of the southern segment of the San Andreas Fault that sits here, the one where the big one's going to happen, the 8.1. It's been over 322 years, so I find that kind of odd, right? Could they both go at the same time? Never know. I mean, that would be a doomsday scenario out here along the west coast. All right, moving inland, a little bit safer maybe. I don't know. They got earthquakes all over the place. The Rocky Mountains, Utah, up here in Cedar, Utah. They've been having quite a bit of swarming activity here over the past few months. Over the last week, about 67 earthquakes. Today, about 10. So things kind of dying down a little bit. Also got some movement out here around Pecos, Texas, working its way up towards portions of Oklahoma. And one earthquake around the New Madrid zone. Howardville, Missouri. Good old Howardville. 1.8 in the major seismic zone called the New Madrid zone. That's a very dangerous area. Did have some activity up around Maine. last night, kicking up here, and looks like a little activity outside of New York overnight at 1.7. Notice a little bit of increase in movement out here along the northeastern sections. Let's see, what do we got in the Mexico region? A 5.2. I believe this one came in. This one looks like it came in overnight, 64 kilometers deep. I think we had another one down here yesterday. Is this it? 4.6. I don't know. It's been a little active, but not quite as active as we have seen in the past here along the Middle America Trench. So things may be getting set up to move in that area. Puerto Rico area seen some movement as well. Nothing major, just a typical swarm. And getting a little activity out here around Ecuador. Looks like just off the coastline into the Ecuador Trench. Kind of the northern segment here of the Peru-Chile Trench. It kind of extends up here. It's another subduction zone that can see some pretty large earthquakes. Right now, just a couple low-grade and even a mid-grade 4 just off the coast of the Ecuador area. One earthquake down here into the Peru-Chile Trench, a 4.5. We have seen a little bit of activity. Can't leave this out here down in the South Sandwich Islands either. Overnight, looks like we've seen a couple earthquakes, including a 5.4 and a 4.9. But I think the main story right now, aside from the West Coast region, is we're getting a little shift of activity kicking up here around the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench and the Japan Trench, all seeing some heightened activity overnight and this morning time frame. Looks like mid-4s are the magic number for now. Looks like things may be getting ready to rumble up here along this segment of the Pacific Plate. It's been awfully quiet recently, so we see a lot of movement over here. We could be getting ready to see things kind of taper off along the West Coast and vice versa. It's that teeter-totter effect I talk about quite a bit here. Rings true. So we'll watch this area for potentially larger scale movement. But until that happens, I think we need to watch the West Coast, Cascadia, and the Middle America Trench regions look pretty active. All right, Fiji Islands area, Tonga. Couple small earthquakes down here. One of them, yeah, we got one pretty deep. Although nothing recent. This activity occurring last night, so no renewed activity so far today along this area. Out here around the Papua New Guinea region, it looks like 4.6. Again, that one from last night. All quiet zones and older movement to the south. All renewed activity here, northwestern portion of the plate and the west coast. So be on guard. Not a whole lot going on further west, Afghanistan, Turkey, and it looks like outside of the, looks like it's in Iran. A little activity in the 4 range kicking off there. All right, Yellowstone National Park. Not a whole lot going on through the region. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. That's the key word today. It looks like maybe a little activity kicking up way east of here. It looks like out towards the eastern section of the Yellowstone Park, but barely showing up on any of these. But it looks like it's kind of distant from the Parker Peak area. Talking about this little seismograph reading right here, and nothing showing up on the Yellowstone overview, or the I should say Yellowstone map here. That one does not count. That's not it. That's a very small microquake this morning. So again, nothing too much going on there at Yellowstone National Park. We'll check out solar weather activity, and then we'll continue on with our day. Pretty busy day today for me, but don't worry, I am going to be by the computer. We'll definitely be watching stuff here. No major solar weather events to take note of here in the coming days. Looks like a little bit of crackling going on here with maybe are we getting up into the C category? Maybe it looks like we're trying to spark up a C flare, which has been pretty dull over the last couple days here. I'd say the last week or so has been pretty uneventful in terms of solar weather flaring activity, that is. Sometimes we get these unexpected solar wind events thanks to a southward tilt or a sector of southward pointing BZ, which allows a lot of the solar wind stream to flow right in and create elevated solar conditions, but it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't look like this guy has moved much. Is this old? Kind of looks like the same image from the past couple days. It says updated August 12th. I was watching this Coronal Hole. Yeah, it looks like it's updated because you can kind of see it here on this map as well. Watching this growing coronal hole that is expanded pretty nicely across portions of the northern and the southern hemisphere here of the sun. That could be a big player in producing some elevated conditions coming up here once that is facing the Earth. Right now, we're not expecting any type of solar wind stream from it until we are looking right at it. You can kind of see it pretty defined on a lot of these images. Look at that. Well-defined coronal hole. So watch this pretty closely. This thing could grow. And there is some sunspot activity around it. Some newer sunspots developing. This one here, 3076, is growing pretty good. It's getting a couple different magnetic field positions there. And also 3074. They're big, but man, I don't think they're capable of producing anything significant. But we will watch it. It looks like they have elevated it a little bit due to the size, due to the quickness that they're growing. Looks like we got a 45% chance of a C flare. Looks like that may be taking place here. And also an M flare stands at about 5% chance. Here is the probability details. Looks like 3076, as pointed out, shows the main risk. 3076 is kind of that bigger one down here. Up here, I should say, that's got the red and the blue kind of growing drastically here. So you could get these intermixing, sparking, if you will, of these fields, and that could, well, could give us those potential flares that we're looking for. All right, guys, have a good day. Enjoy your afternoon. It's supposed to be 99 here. And, man, we're going back into the triple digits for the next 10 days. It's supposed to be like 107, 108 here in California once again this weekend and next week as well. So I'm going to be out in the pool, probably with the kiddos and just enjoying what I can, some coolness, unless I just stay here in the computer room and do my updates all day, which I don't mind doing. But I'm going to be out in the pool, I think, most of the day today. All right, guys, have a good day. Again, stay safe. Welcome the new members. We will send a shout out to channel members tonight in our update. And this weekend, folks, we're going to be giving away a $40 Amazon gift card. $40 Amazon gift card to members, channel members. So the channel member pool right now is kind of small, so your chances of winning, your odds of winning, are actually quite high. And we do the drawing live, so we will that way it's a fair shot, right, for everyone. We put all the entries from members into the bowl, a fish bowl, and I will probably have Missy Mimi's pick it out, and we'll give away a $40 gift card this weekend. So make sure you're in that fish bowl by becoming a channel member. I think it's pretty reasonable far as the membership cost goes. It's not that huge, and you can always cancel if you just want to try out a month. Look at some videos that me and Miss Mimi's have posted up. It's basically not earthquake related stuff. It's family stuff and outdoor stuff, and kind of just what we do here. Kind of a little shot for the members to view, and we throw in some extra emojis and icons, which I still need to put a few more on. I'm kind of working on that, and of course you're automatically entered into a drawing every single month. So if you want a chance at a $40 gift card from Amazon, gotta jump on board, folks. Hit that join channel. Last month, Robert Kozowski won $50 Visa card. So each month is going to be something different. Next month could be a gas card. Next month could be free merchandise from the Earthmaster store. Whatever. It's going to be something every single month that we're going to be doing continuously. And then, of course, when we hit 100,000 subscribers here on the channel, that's going to be a big one. We'll be giving away 10 prizes away to 10 people, and those are going to be for subscribers and, of course, channel members, everyone that's on board here, as far as everyone's as a subscriber, that is. So that's kind of a ways off. Things tend to slow down, and then they pick up, slow down, then pick up. So not for sure when we're going to hit 100K, but it's getting there. We're stretching up there. Got a little stretch to go. But again, thanks for everyone joining the channel. New members, new subscribers, get on board. Hit that channel membership so you can be entered into our weekend drawing tomorrow for a $40 gift card, okay? I think it's pretty cool. All right, guys, take care, stay safe. We'll chat you a little bit later tonight with the update. Peace out.